Hezbollah has slammed the US Central Command chief over his remarks against the group. General James Mattis said the Lebanese Army should be supported so it can counter Hezbollah and Syria. Hezbollah accuses Mattis of meddling in Lebanon's internal affairs. The movement says Mattis's comments are aimed at pitting Syria and Hezbollah against the Lebanese government. It also underlined Lebanon's independence and said the nation is not a US colony. Hezbollah described Syria as a brotherly nation. It also called itself one of the main components of Lebanese society. Well, Saudi and Syrian leaders are set to arrive in Beirut on Friday to help ease political tensions in Lebanon. An official statement in Damascus says Saudi King Abdullah and Syrian President Bashar al-Assad will support stability and unity in Lebanon. This, as a UN fact-finding committee, is due to release its findings about the assassination of former Lebanese Premier Rafik Hariri. The committee's report may indict some Lebanese nationals over the killing. Let's join Mariam Saleh, our correspondent in Beirut, who's keeping a close eye on developments there and watching the summit unfold. Mariam, tell us more about the purpose and the agenda of this summit.
Yes, well, we're right here at the presidential palace in Babda, in the vicinity of the presidential palace, which you can see behind me, of course. Tight security today, waiting for the arrival of the Saudi King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz and Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Now, they have arrived to Beirut International Airport. They were greeted by President Sulaiman, and they will be heading towards the presidential palace, where tripartite meetings will take place here. There will be also luncheon where the members of parliament, ministers will all take part in this meeting. This is the first visit by King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz to Lebanon since 1957, and this is the first visit for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad since 8 years, first time in 8 years. This is even before relations between Lebanon and Syria took a downturn after the assassination of former Prime Minister Rafik Hariri in 2005. Now, if you look at this meeting, it's quite significant, and not just in the ranks of the people visiting today, but King Abdullah, King of Saudi Arabia, and President of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, in themselves have a symbolism towards Lebanon. Relations, Saudi-Syrian relations have throughout history had their effect and their influence on the politics of Lebanon. Now, as we saw the meeting in Damascus, which took quite a while, I mean, they stayed way over midnight. That was quite positive. It will definitely, therefore, reflect positively on Lebanese politics. Yes. Now, this significance is threefold. Mainly, you have the issue of consolidating consensus among the Lebanese and maintaining the national coalition government. This is something both Saudi Arabia and Syria want to see. They're eager to have this maintained. This is one issue. Another issue is to keep the calm and support unity among the Lebanese, as reports of Special Tribunal indictment could be released. Of course, media reports only have been saying, even some political reports, Hezbollah say they have their knowledge, their information that there will be an indictment that would indict from the Special Tribunal that is working on the Hariri case, the Rafik Hariri case, who was assassinated in 2005. This indictment could bring on members, could touch members of Hezbollah. After this occurred early this month, there was some political tension in Lebanon. Now President Bashar al-Assad and King Abdullah want to bring the Lebanese back together and bring them back to unity. This is one thing. Another thing is the issue of the peace process. Reports are saying that King Abdullah is quite eager to have something from Syria, to speak to the Syrian president and to the Lebanese president on the issue of the peace process between Israel and the Palestinians, of course, which should deal with Syria as well, and Lebanon as well, the issues that are going on with Lebanon and Syria, and Lebanon and Syria and Israel. Yes, you have a question?
Yeah, Mariam, I was just going to say, well, you've just picked on three very important issues, two inside the country, and of course regional issues as well. And as you mentioned, Saudi Arabia and Syria often in what can be described as a tug-and-pull situation when it comes to their influence in Lebanon. So I'm sure there will be very serious discussions as well, because there's been a lot of talk from politicians, from experts and from the media that Lebanon could face a couple of very serious months over the summer, that there'll be a lot of tensions, particularly after the Hariri tribunal gives out its results. Is there that sense of seriousness in these talks?
Well, actually, they're not the kind of talks that you could get tangible results of, where you have decisions taken, actions being seen on the ground. But like I said, symbolically, it does reflect quite highly on the people, as you know, on people, and of course on the politicians. Now, King Abdullah is strongly related, has very strong ties with the Hariri family itself and to the 14th of March coalition. The Syrian president is also a great supporter of Hezbollah's resistance and of the opposition generally in Lebanon, which consists of Hezbollah, the Free Patriarch Movement headed by Michel Aoun, also Speaker Berri, his movement Amal, and others as well. Therefore, they will insist that these sides sit together and speak. Like you said, there was a lot of tension earlier as reports of a possible indictment of Hezbollah members in the Special Tribunal for Lebanon was leaked, of course, as they say, to the press. Now, the first response that we got from the Special Tribunal was from its spokesperson, and she said that these accusations are unfounded, that the decision to issue an indictment is still not been taken. Now, on the issue of the peace process, there's something very important that we were told that is possibly going to be taking place among the speakers here today, that the issue of that King Abdullah could ask for more concessions from Syria and for it to influence the resistance movements on the issue of regional peace talks in order for King Abdullah to make some kind of an effort towards the Special Tribunal and therefore ease the tension here in Lebanon. Now, Hezbollah has warned, of course, that such an issue could result in another May 7th. As you know, May 7th of 2008, there was a lot of political tension, and that led to some violence here in Lebanon. However, they're saying that these talks could also ease some tension, but warning also of serious Israeli propaganda that is taking place right now, since they are speaking in the media, in the Israeli media, that Hezbollah is implicated. Well, of course, Hezbollah considers this unfounded.
Yeah, you're indicating there, Mariam, well, they're putting their chips on the table and discussing different things, the reports that you're getting. It'll be interesting to know, and of course, as always, there's been a lot of focus on Hezbollah. How have the Lebanese groups and factions, Hezbollah and others, viewed this summit? Have they had any statements coming out?
Well, yes, generally, even from members of the 14th of March coalition and the Future Movement, who say we are 100% with the Special Tribunal for Lebanon, we are with the truth on the Hariri case. We really want to know who assassinated Rafik Hariri in 2005, who took part in this, but however, we will not accept any indictment that is unfounded, that is baseless, because previously we had false witnesses who took part in who were witnesses in the Special Tribunal. They were taken seriously for 4 years, and you had 4 generals in Lebanon, 4 former generals who were imprisoned for 4 years, and that was considered arbitrary. They were therefore considered innocent. They were found innocent, and this is something that they believe could be repeated with Hezbollah. That first you had Syria and its allies being the fingers being pointed at them. Now you have the fingers being pointed at Hezbollah. This is something Hezbollah thinks is an Israeli plan, Israeli-U.S. plan to, of course, try to target the resistance and perhaps just distort the image of the resistance. This is a very important point here that Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah has stressed on.